All right, so my name is David and I'm with Rightland Trading, and we're going to be talking about the money flow tracker software, which I use every day and have been for the last 5 years, that uses mathematical modeling combined with artificial intelligence. All right, so that's me up in the top right-hand corner. Mark Miller is the owner. Rory takes care of all the inside stuff. Sergio is our programmer. Craig and David run other rooms, and everybody else here is for support. Let's do the disclaimer and get that out of the way. Basically, this says that we're not financial advisors, nor do we want to be. We're not giving any buy, sell, or hold recommendations, and everything we talk about is for educational purposes only. So my name is David Kushner. I've been trading the markets for over 25 plus years. I trade stocks, options, futures, and Forex. Uh, my background was an automotive parts business that I started when I was 18 years old. I had that business for 28 years, sold it in 2005, and since then I've been a full-time trader. So, like most of you, you probably have a whole shelf full of indicators trading systems that came with a lot of empty promises of helping you become more profitable and more consistent trader. So I know that I have probably 3 or 4 hard drives full of stuff that is totally useless that I spent a small fortune on. Then I was in a webinar that Mark Sachs did, and I saw the money flow tracker software, and I quickly realized that this methodology isn't based around the same old indicators that everybody else teaches, but more based on mathematical modeling and triple and quadruple screen analysis. So now I only trade with institutional money flow. It's made me much more profitable, much more consistent, and now I'm running over a 70% win-loss rate. Okay. So the agenda for this webinar is I'm going to talk about the money flow tracker software, how it works, the high probability setups, the unbreakable rules to follow, how I trade breakouts and sidestep losing trades, the money flow tracker auto trader, and how to pass the evaluations and become a funded trader. So my presentation is about 45 minutes, and those who stay till the end will get a very special discount plus some additional software as a quick action bonus. So do you ever wonder why some traders succeed while others don't? Well, in the world of trading, the difference between success and failure can be as stark as day and night. So let's delve into a reason why some traders thrive while others stumble. So the first thing is lack of a trading plan. Most people fight this. They don't make trading plans, or they've made about 30 or 40 trading plans. Successful traders meticulously plan their moves. They know what they'll trade, when, and how. Without a solid trading plan, you're like a ship without a compass. You have no direction. So, most people don't realize that you have a plan for everything you do. So let's say, you know what? I need some eggs. You might as well take out a mortgage if you're buying eggs these days, right? Well, all right, so what's your plan? Well, I'm going to get in my car. I'm going to turn on this street, I'm going to go into the grocery store. I'm going to go back to the back of the store where the eggs are, and then I'm going to come home. So that's the plan. Well, trading is no difference. You have to know what you're going to trade, how you're going to trade it, right? The second thing is you don't have an edge. An edge is a unique advantage in the market. It could be a strategy, it could be technical analysis. It could be a particular asset class, and traders who lack an edge often struggle. So our edge is we trade with institutional order flow. So when I talk about order flow, money flow, I'm only talking about institutional money flow. The third thing is psychological challenges. Trading is as much about psychology as about numbers. Fear and greed and impatience can sabotage even the best strategies. So developing mental resilience and emotional discipline is crucial. So I call this mental mindset. So let's say you take a trade and you have a losing trade. Well, you can't get all bent out of shape and freaked out and throwing your mouse and throwing your keyboards and stuff because you have a losing trade. That's all part of the game. Over trading. We've all done it. I've done it. I don't do it anymore, but it's just not a good thing to do. It's excessive trading leads to exhaustion and poor decision making. So quality over quantity. So in the trade room, we have a saying, we're here to make money. We're not here to make trades, right? And the last thing is not adapting. Markets evolve. Traders who refuse to adapt the changing conditions fall behind. So stay informed and flexible. So, sometimes the markets are a little slower, sometimes they're a little quicker, sometimes we adjust the bar size. It all depends on the market. But remember, trading success is not guaranteed, but understanding the pitfalls can improve your odds. So you need 4 things to create trading success. First thing is you need software that will provide you with a competitive edge over all other traders. The next thing is you need that edge to track the direction of money flow. What did I say before? Institutional money flow. The third thing is you need etched in stone rules to follow, and this will eliminate discretion. It also eliminates impulse trades. And the fourth thing, which I believe is the most important, is patience. Patience, discipline to let the trade set up. We don't take trades unless they're qualified setups. So I'm going to break down the system to you in detail, but let me show a couple trades that we've taken. This was an options trade on AMC for 139%. Here is a trade on GME for 188%. Let's see. Here's a trade on 30-year bonds. So 30-year bonds is 31.25 a tick, right? 41 ticks is $1,281 on one trade, one contract. The euro, 56 ticks, right? I could sit here and show you trade after trade after trade, but that's not going to help you. And I'm here to help you. So why do you have a problem making money or being consistent? Because you don't have the proper tools to officially manage your trade. You overtrade, you revenge trade, you make impulsive decisions. You lack consistency. You trade with indicators that lag price, and you lack a proven proven trade methodology. And all these things lead to blowing up trading accounts. So my commitment to you is to bring this to an end. I was a struggling trader for a long time. I mean, a really long time. I was in your seat, right? I was on the other side of the monitor, and when I started trading with the money flow tracker software, everything turned around. So why do they say that 95 to 98% of traders go broke? Because they're using the same old things that everybody else teaches, and price action, MACD, Elliott wave, divergence, price patterns, Fibonacci, gaps. None of these things have any future predictive properties. Now, I am not, and I'm going to repeat this, I am not saying that the money flow tracker can predict the future. That would be ridiculous, right? We'd be multi-billionaires. Elon Musk would be calling us to borrow money. Right. So Mark Sachs has over 15 plus years in the field of applied mathematics. He was a professor at Jefferson University, and after 8 long years, he engineered the software system and trade methodology that can improve your trade performance. And we have over 500 traders between the 3 trade rooms that trade shoulder to shoulder. But before we get started, I want to share my trade journal. So I use an online trade journal called Edgewomp. Let me pull it over. Oh, come on. Right. And I'm going to load up 2024 because we're only like a month and a half into 2025, and I really don't have enough data to make honest thing. So look, we're at a 74.94, let's say 75% win rate. But the profit factor is 3.37, which means for every dollar we risk, we make 3.37. Here is my equity curve for all of 2024. You can see we started off with a little tiny loss, and then we just went up and up and up. We ended up the year with $120,000 for the year. Okay. Now, if I show you here, and let's go back to, let's say, I don't know, August. I just picked August just for the hell of it. All right. So you can see that in August, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days that we did not take a trade. And why? Because the markets were choppy and we didn't get any setups, so we don't take a trade. right? So that was 7 days we didn't trade. Look at what we did in August, $12,487, right? But let's even go even better. Let's go to when do we have those hurricanes? October. Okay, so look at October. We didn't trade 1, 2. I live in Central Florida, so the 9th through the 11th, 3, 4, 5 was Hurricane Helene, right? And the 17th and the 18th was Hurricane Milton that came across Florida. So if we look at here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days we didn't trade in October. And what did we do in October? $11,511, right? So I can show you month after month after month. You know, the point of this is that you don't have to trade every day to make money. I've had thousands of traders come into my trade room that subscribe to the Money Flow Tracker software, and I hear the same thing over and over and over. I make money one day and I lose money the next 2 days. And I make money one day and I lose money the next 2 days. And I say to them, it's because you're trying to trade a choppy sideways market. Those are the days you lose money, right? So look, the markets consist of many small retails represented by these marbles, plus one or more large institutional trader represented by the large purple ball. So if we know that most retail traders lose money, why would you want to trade with them? We don't. We want to trade with institutional order flow. When they're trading, we're trading because they're the ones that move the market. So the Money Flow Tracker's trading system has 3 key metrics. The first one is triple screen assessment of correlative markets using our AI engine. The second one is triple screen assessment of order flow. What did I say? Institutional order flow. And the third is triple screen assessment of the LIQUIDITY from momentum. So what do I mean by triple screen assessment? All right, so if you're trading a 2-minute, we use multiples of 3. Your mid time frame is a 6, your highest time frame would be 18. We trade with Unirenko, so we use range bars for our higher time frames. The first powerful force that moves price is triple screen assessment of order flow. So as soon as I say order flow, first thing people comes to their mind are these order flow candles with all these numbers inside on the right, inside on the left, outside on the right, on the bottom, on the top, upside down, inside out, and sideways. It is virtually impossible for you to make sense of all these numbers and make good trading decisions, especially when the markets are moving fast. So we came up with our own order flow candles. So our order flow candles don't have numbers on them. If the outline of the candle is green, means that the delta in the candle is positive. If the outline of the candle is red, means the delta of the candle is negative. Well, I like to keep things really simple, and I find most people learn when you keep things really simple. So when I'm trading, I'm looking at the outline of the candle, and if it's green and I'm long, I'm good because I know I have more buyers than sellers in these candles. And if it's red, I know the sellers came in and pushed it down. Now we also have the wicks in a Renko bar inside the candle, and we use these wicks for our benefit. So what do I mean by triple screen assessment of order flow? Means that we have 3 time frames in agreement with order flow going in the same direction. So this is what our charts look like. They're very clean. They're very easy to watch. All our indicators are displayed by these colored lines on the bottom, except the modified LIQUIDITY, which we have here. The colored backgrounds, everything's easy to understand. All right, so let me go back. Skip that. So the second powerful price that moves price is triple screen assessment of the LIQUIDITY. And we also use the hybrid candles, which are the wicks. So again, triple screen assessment, so we want to see it going in the same direction on 3 time frames. And the wicks. So you can see that when you have a wick that opens from the previous candle's close, goes up as many ticks as the bar size and closes, and the next candle opens from that previous bar's close, and so on. But when you get a pullback candle like this, we use these pullback candles to our advantage. And I will be explaining that a little more further down the road. So we developed what we called the modified LIQUIDITY. So we took all these indicators and we added an algorithm to them, and developed the modified LIQUIDITY. So the modified LIQUIDITY does not show divergence like other oscillators, but it only shows the strength of the trend. So the modified LIQUIDITY on the bottom is represented by the line above it. So when it crosses below 20, it turns red. When it crosses above 20 and sloping up, it will be lime green. When it crosses below 80 and is sloping down, it will be orange. Ultimately, we want to see this pinned at 100 or at 0 so we get our acceleration dots. Now, if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the questions box. I'll be answering every single one of them, or Rory will be answering them for you. We get the acceleration dots. All right, so I'm building into the system right now. So the next thing are our quant lines, right? So our quant lines, we have a long-term and a short-term, takes 28 market components and examined by our AI system for correlation. Now, most people understand what correlation is. They know what correlation is, but they don't use it. And we do, because it's powerful. And most people don't even realize it. So if ES is going up, NQ is going up, YM is going up, RTY is going up, you expect all the markets to follow through. But let's say ES is going down, but RTY, NQ, and YM are going up. What do you think is going to happen to ES? It's either going to slow, go sideways, or turn around and follow the rest of the market. All right. So the next thing was, I said to Mark, I said, 3 time frames is really not enough to really analyze a good trend. So we added a 4th time frame. And basically, it's just the same way as if you're trading a 2-minute chart, the 4th time frame would be, 18 times 3, whatever that would be. And we call that the C2 indicator. That's 4th time frame. So the C2 indicator just adds another time frame. So the C2 indicator is displayed by this stair-stepping line above the candles. Red going up, green going up, dark red going down. So let's put it all together. I've showed you all the stuff. You don't have to know how everything works, but let's put it all together. It's just very simple setups, the rules and the setups. And we don't break these rules. We trade the same rules every day. I've been doing it for 5 years. First thing is we need a colored background. That gives us 3 time frames in agreement. The next thing is we want to have the C2. We want 4 time frames in agreement. The next thing is we have a solid line and we have a dot dash line. We want the solid line above the dot dash line going up and below going down. If you run into a pivot, a support or resistance line, the VWAP, whatever it is, you must wait for the 3/4 of the body of the candle to close above or below that pivot. And then you must wait for a pullback candle. Both quants, the long term and the short term, must be in agreement. The multiple time frame LIQUIDITY must be in agreement with the quants. And the modified LIQUIDITY must be in agreement with the quants, the multiple time frame LIQUIDITY, and it must be pinned at 100 or 0 for the acceleration dots. So there's the setup. There's the results from this trade. 63 ticks. This is crude oil at $630 per contract. All right. So this is what really, really I love about the Money Flow Tracker software. It will keep you out of choppy, non-trending markets, which usually leads to losses. And that's where most traders lose money. I'm not saying that we don't have losing days even though we follow the system and follow all the rules. That's part of trading, but we don't have a ton of losing days. So remember, it's okay not to trade every day, because all those days I showed you that did not take any trades would have been losing days if we would have tried to trade those markets. All right, so here's a trade that I took on CL. It broke the pivot. I missed this pullback. It happened really fast, so I got in on this pullback, right? And it went down. I got 10 ticks on the first target, and the stop goes to break even. Now I exit when the dot dash line changes color from red to yellow or red to green. So this was $100, and this was 55 ticks, another $550. So there's $650 on this trade, and it took less than a minute. We had a great trade this morning too on YM, and I'm going to show you that. So the money flow tracker software gives you clear and exact entries, clear and exact exits, and you get your targets and ATMs all configured. So now that I'm thinking about, let me show you this trade that we got this morning. We had a great day today, right? So here's a trade. It even has my markers on it. So it broke the support line, and we could see that this candle is a pullback candle. It's got a little wick coming out the other side here. So that was the pullback candle. So I placed my order. I got my first profit target, and then I moved my stop down, and I'll explain to you what the MA diff is a little later. When this gets a little high, I tend to move my stop down, and I got out of this trade here with, I forget how many ticks this was, total of 80 ticks on this one trade. And then we got another trade here. Where was it? Oh, maybe it wasn't on this. Maybe it was on something else. So while I was thinking about it and I was showing you that screenshot, I wanted to show you that trade. Okay. So now I'm going to show you how I trade breakouts with the money flow tracker software. And I call this the pullback and go. So I need to grab my pen here. So I need to draw on this chart. Okay. So you can see the market's coming down. We run into a pivot. The shaded area is higher time frame support. So we break, right? And then we get the pullback candle. As this candle is pulling back about halfway or more, that's when I place my order. Sell on down close. Because what happens if the market comes down and it's pulling back and it's pulling back and then it goes like this? And this candle ends up closing up. Well, this order will automatically get canceled if it closes up. In this case, it didn't close up. It proved to us that the market was going to go down. And it was a winning trade. That's the pullback and go strategy. Really simple. A lot of times the market continues on going up and this order gets canceled. So we sidestep the losing trade. I think we had 2 or 3 this morning that we sidestepped. So here's a couple more examples. Here's one on RTY, broke the pivot, got the pullback, placed the order, profit target 1, profit target 2. Here's one on crude oil. Here's 2 of them on the Canadian dollar. I can show you more and more examples, but that's not going to help you. And it's just going to make the webinar longer, and I don't want to make it longer. Let's talk about one of my favorite subjects, is the money flow tracker auto trader strategy. It's called the Revolutions, but we call it Revo for short. So here's a trade that it took for 704 ticks. Here's another trade it took for 665 ticks. Here's another trade it took for 1,016 ticks. This was the most ticks I ever made on one trade. Here's another trade for 792 ticks. So what does it do? So let me open up the strategy window because it's easier for me to show it on the strategy window than it is on a screenshot. So let's see, here's a Revo. stands for Revo strategy. So I'm going to load my template that I use to trade MNQ. All right, so here we go. So what were the rules? The bias is the colored background and the C2. We want that on. I have it being delayed, the entry by 1 candle, because it doesn't wait for the pullback candle. So I want to make sure that the candle completely the pivot. We want the Laguerre, red or green. We want the multiple time frame Laguerre, red or green. The volume threshold I don't really worry about because there's always plenty of volume. These are the 15 and the 50s, red or green. The trend signal, we're using the trend line. The MA diff, I'll explain to you what the MA diff is in a little bit. But we want that, and the MA diff on this is 350. We want to clear the pivots. I don't know why that wasn't checked, actually. Let me go ahead and redo this. All right, we want to clear the pivots. We want to clear the higher time frame support lesson we call the volume zones. We want the quants, both red and green. Now, the first target value is very, very, if I didn't say very, is important. Why? Because our first target is 80 ticks, but it has to go to 81 to get filled. So let's say, let me get my pen here again real quick. So let's say on this screen, there's only, from here to here, there's only 60 ticks, right? It won't take the trade. It will wait until it breaks the pivot to take the trade. That's why this number is very important, is because you don't want it to trade into support or resistance. So if there's not enough for profit target 1, it will skip the trade and wait until it breaks the pivot. You don't have to worry about any of this. You can have it turn on and turn off whenever you want. We don't use the oscillator entry. We don't use this. Now it has built-in risk management. So we have lots of people that just subscribe to the money flow tracker software for the auto trader because they have jobs and they have to stay. They turn their auto trader on in the morning, and I tell them, put $1,000 profit and put $500 loss limits. So if let's say you're in a trade and the trade's up $1,500, it won't close the trade at 1,000. But once it closes that trade, it will not take another trade for the day. And the same thing with the loss limit. If it loses 500, it will stop trading for the day. Right? This is all the setups and whatever. And when you're trading with a prop firm, you have to be out before the market session closes. So we have this set to 3,630 seconds. So this closes the trade like 5 minutes before the market closes. Right? So it's just following all the rules that I put in place. Right? And this here should be checked. And I don't know why they're not. Let me go ahead and save this again, just so I don't. Okay. And that's it. So what did it do here? It waited to break the pivot, right? It took the trade here. It stayed in the trade until the dot dash line changed color from here. That's 792 ticks. We're testing it on some other markets. So here's the equity curve for 21, 22. I do not have 2023. I lost all my data. 2024 I haven't done yet, but I will. So here's a trade that the auto trader took. Now I was in this trade and I hit my first profit target and really fast. So I recorded the trade. I said, I want to record this trade because I think this trade is going to be one of those monster trades, right? So we almost got stopped out at break even after the first profit target. So I'm just going to go forward. So look, we're up 382 ticks, 371 ticks, 532 ticks. Now, remember I talked about the MA diff. So the MA diff is 417. Now, we don't take a trade above 350. So when it starts getting high, the MA diff is how far away from the 50 are we? So when the market gets too far away from the 50, it reverts back to it most of the time. So I moved my stop from break even. When did I start moving it? I moved it from break even when the MA diff started getting higher and higher. And I ended up getting out of this trade. There's 554 ticks, 570 ticks. So I traded 4 micros, took 2 off at 80 ticks, so that's $80, and took the other 2 off at $570. So there's $650 on this trade. I didn't do anything except turn it on. As a matter of fact, here's a trade that we took this morning on right here. This trade was basically, we got our first target, then we got stopped out here. So that was 127 ticks. I thought I took 2 trades here, maybe it was just 1. 127 ticks. Not a monster trade, but still a nice trade. All right, so let's go ahead and get rid of this. And moving on here. All right. Michael, you'll get the recording because you registered, so it'll be going out tonight. All right, no problem. How to pass the evaluations. Everybody's dilemma, right? Focus on the process. Do not focus on the carrot. So what do I mean by that? Focus on trading well. Focus on your setups. You know, focus on your trade plan. What am I doing? How am I doing it? When am I doing it? How am I doing it? Right? You know, I have one friend that is a floor trader, and I have another friend that works for a brokerage firm. My friend that's a floor trader told me, he said, David, if you think that floor traders are worried about how much money they're going to make, you're wrong. They don't. They focus on their risk. Let that sink in. If you focus on your risk, the profits will take care of themselves. So I tell everybody, focus on trading well. If the markets are choppy and they're just going sideways, don't try to trade. You won't get setups anyways, but don't try to trade those markets because you're just going to end up losing. And my friend Mark, that works for a brokerage firm, he told me, he said, look, he said, we love retail traders. I go, you love retail traders? What do you mean? He says, because we know if they open up an account, most of them open up an account with $5,000, right? Some open accounts with 10 grand. He said, because we know within a month or so, or a few weeks or sooner, that money is going to be gone. They're going to blow out that account, right? You know, I didn't believe this whole thing myself until I started doing it, and now I'm a believer. So look, the evaluations or the challenges or whatever they're called by your prop firm are really designed to make you fail because of the parameters they put in place and all the freaking rules that they keep coming up with and changing all the time. Like Apex is always changing rules, right? Like how many trading days to pass? The trailing drawdown. So the trailing drawdown is the biggest one why people blow out accounts. So this is my process when I'm going to put on a trade. This is my process. If you think that you sign up with Apex or Top Step or any of those, and you are trading a $50,000 account, you're wrong. You're not trading a $50,000 account. It sounds good. I am trading my drawdown. So let's say I have a $2,500 drawdown. My process is I don't risk any more than 10% of my drawdown on any one trade. So my max risk is 250. So which means if I'm trading NQ and I'm staying within my 250, we use a 40 tick stop on NQ. I have to trade 6 micros to stay within my risk parameters. And that's what I do. So your win rate versus your reward. So if you're a 1-to-1 trader, you better be at least 60% win rate to be profitable. If you're a 2-to-1 trader, it drops drastically. You could be wrong 60% of the time and still make money. If you're a 3-to-1 trader, which we are, you could be wrong 70% of the time and still make money. But we're 74% win rate, so I don't really even think about this. But I wanted to show you this just to show, what your risk versus reward is. So rather than avoid risk, take intelligent risk, and it will give you that competitive edge, just like this little mouse. He wants that piece of cheese, or she, I don't know. These days, you never know, right? And he's aware of his risk or her risk. This thing might snap over and hit him in the head. So what did he do? He put on his helmet to protect himself against the risk. Okay, any questions? Any more questions? Rory's been answering them all. It's not fair. I want to answer some. So any questions? Put them in there and I will answer them. All right. So trading success equals what? Financial freedom, which means you have no financial pressure. You work from home. You have no commute. You have no boss. You have the advantages of being a full-time trader, which to me means that if I'm not feeling like it, or I'm just not feeling like trading one day, I don't know, whatever the reason would be, maybe just not into it, maybe whatever, I don't have to. I don't have to call up and say, hey, I'm not coming in. I have sick of this. Sick of this? Yeah, sick of this place, right? You are your own boss. All right. So I showed you everything, how the money flow tracker software works, each of the components, how we trade, how we pass the evaluations. So now you have 2 choices. If you're a profitable trader and you're making money on a consistent basis, then God bless you and keep doing what you're doing. But from the poll that I took, most of you are kind of struggling and you're not as consistent as you want to be. So take action today and join us and we usually I probably trade 2 hours a day, sometimes 3, right? So you take the second option and get the money flow tracker software. What are the benefits and features? It's easy to learn. And that's one thing that really drew me to it 5 years ago, is that it is easy to learn and it's very clean and very easy to interpret. And the workspaces are very intuitive. It's perfect for beginners. It's perfect for any account size. I have lots of traders that just trade micros and they're okay with that. They're only looking to make a couple $100 a day, right? And you can trade futures, Forex, and you can trade stocks. So you can trade stocks options with it also. So for the first 10 traders that come aboard, we're going to give you some powerful additional software. So the first thing you'll get is the market scanner. So let me pull down my market scanner because it's more relevant to what we do. We use Unirenko bars. So for instance, natural gas, crude oil, and copper, we trade on a 2-5-10. So it says flat. All right, well, I don't even need to go look at it. Let's say it said buy here, right? Doesn't mean that I have a setup. It's just telling me, hey, you got some conditions that might be setting up. Go ahead and look at the chart, right? Like NQ, we trade on a 8-20-40. NYM and RTY, we trade on a 4-10-20. So we look at these columns and you'll get the market scanner, which is a $9.99 value. You'll get that as part of your package. You'll get the NDT. Now, this is a strategy that we use. It pops up, and this is what we use to place our orders. So buy on up close, sell on down close. This is what you put your ATM, your account, the market you're trading. This is a $14.99 value. You'll get that as part of your package. You'll get the masterclass series on futures, forex, stocks, and options. Now, I've watched these and they're really good. You get 1 month access to my trade room. So our trade rooms were part of a study by this Dr. Victor Allen. And in his study, he reviewed more than 225 trading websites and evaluated them using several factors, including transparency, proven track record, and assisting traders with educational materials and online support. And we came out on top, believe it or not. And this was published in Traders World and Stock and Commodities magazine. So this is what our special offer is for the Money Flow Tracker software. We're doing an annual subscription, which you'll get the Money Flow Tracker, you'll get the Revo Auto Trader, you'll get the Market Scanner, you'll get 1 month of my trade room, and everything else that I explained, you'll get as part of your package for $11.97 for the year. We're doing a 50% off promotion. It was normally $23.94. It's $11.97 a year. How many people, it's less than $100 a month. How many people lost $100 this week? Let's see. Me, I lost way more than that. Me, I did. A bunch of people are just saying, I did. I lost 600, I lost this or that. So for less than $100 a month, okay, you could be much more consistent trader. Or if you prefer, we're doing a 50% off lifetime for $19.97. You'll get 3 months in my trade room and you'll get all the extra bonuses. All right, let's keep moving on. So here's my commitment to you, is when you subscribe to the Money Flow Tracker software, it is to help you become a successful trader. You know, I'm not there pushing the button, but I call out every trade that I'm going to take, right? So remember, if you're not successful, it's not your fault. Again, if you're not successful, it's not your fault. You're just not using the right tools to be successful. So I use this analogy all the time, only because it makes so much sense. It's like trying to pound a nail into a 2x4 with a screwdriver. Yeah, if you sit there long enough and you hit it long enough, maybe a week or a month or whatever, you'll get it in that 2x4. But if you use the right tool, okay, a couple of blows with the hammer and you're done. You know, the Money Flow Tracker software is unique. It will give you that edge to trade with institutional order flow. So again, my commitment to you is not just to teach you how to read the setups. The setups is the easiest part of the whole system, is reading the setups. I could teach a 5-year-old to read the setups, but more so to help you develop the mental mindset you must have. You know, trading is very much mental. You have to be able to let a losing trade just kind of roll off your back and say, well, it just didn't work, you know, and just move on to the next trade and not let it freak you out and get all pissed off and all that other stuff. So, you know, you have to have that mental mindset. So if you go to your GoToWebinar control panel and you click on the chat button, there is a link in the chat button. And this link will open up this page. And all you need to do is go down here, let's say sign me up. I don't even think, you don't even need the coupon code, it's already applied. So this is what you'll get. You'll get the Money Flow Tracker software, you'll get your software installed by Charles. Why does this do that for me? I don't know. You'll get your software installed by Charles. You'll get the Revolutions Auto Trader. You'll get the NDT. You'll get the Master Class Series. You'll get month. So it's $23.94. 50% off is $11.97. Your total would be $11.97. And when you renew next year, February 20th, 2026, we will keep you at the same price. We're not going to raise the price on you. You'll be stayed at the same price. So all you need to do is go to the website, and if you just go to Right Line Trading and go to the home page, all you need to do is scroll down money flow tracker, and bring you to the same page and do the same thing. All righty? Okay, so let's get rid of that. Or if you, hold on a second, Rory just sent me a message. He says, welcome, Tim, Terry, Tyra, and Rob. They just signed up. Welcome, he said, welcome them to the Money Flow Tracker. So if you have any questions, or you'd like to speak with us before you do your purchase, or you have anything you want to talk about, a lot of people like to do their purchases over the phone instead of online. Put your name and your phone number in the questions box, and either myself or Rory will call you after the webinar, and you can ask as many questions as you want. All right? And Rory just said that anybody that puts their name and their phone number in will be guaranteed a spot for all the extra bonuses. All right. So look, it's a well-known fact that 95 to 98% of day traders and swing traders are losing money. So this is a retail trader. What is he doing? He's losing money. He's flushing it. Might as well. You're going to end up losing it anyways, right? But not our traders. Our traders are making money. Why? Because when the retail trader is losing money, the institutional trader is taking it from them. So if we know that retail traders lose money, why would you want to trade with them? We want to trade with the guys that are making money. So that's why we trade with institutional order flow. So I'm always asked this question, how do we know when institutions are trading? All right, well, if I pull over this chart, you see this number on the bottom, it says 17, 19, 20. This is counting how many contracts is going through NQ per minute. So it just reset. The minute was up, right? Every minute it resets back to zero. Well, we have certain amount of contracts that we look for when we're trading, so we know institutions are trading. That's how we know when the institutions are trading. All right. Okay. So again, an annual subscription is 50% off at $11.97, and the lifetime is 50% off is $19.97. So if you prefer to do a lifetime, you know, some people don't like to pay yearly or monthly subscriptions. They just own it or whatever. I bought the one-time payment when I did it because when I saw the webinar that Mark did and I was sitting on the other side of the screen just like you are, I made a commitment. And my commitment was, this is the last thing that I ever buy when it comes to trading. And that was 5 years ago. And it has been the last time I spent any more years trading, buying anything for trading. I haven't bought any indicator, I haven't bought anything in 5 years. So how do I get started again in the program? Had it about 6 years ago. Diane, you can contact Rory at Right Line Trading. There's phone numbers on the website, or you can send an email to support at Right Line Trading. All right. Let's see. So this is there's a ton of different of our clients on here, but this woman here is the one that I want to talk about. So she was in a webinar just like you are, and she has a friend that's a trader, and he trades with the Money Flow Tracker software. So she wanted him to teach her how to trade, and he didn't really want to take the responsibility of teaching her how to trade in case she lost money or whatever. You don't want to mix that. So she contacted Mark, and she asked Mark if he would help her. So he said, sure. So she went to his office, and for 4 months, he sat her down in front of a computer, taught her the setups, and told her, if you have a green background and you have all these things lined up, I want you to click on buy and up close. And if you have a dark pink background and you have all this set up, I want you to sell on down close. Well, to make a long story short, she did that for 4 months. She is now a six-figure trader. I spoke to her on the phone a couple times, and I asked her, are you trading every day? And her answer to me was, me no trade every day. Me only trade when I have setup, period. Just like I tell everybody. You don't have a setup, you can't take the trade. If the MA diff is too high and you have a setup, you can't take the trade, right? And now she's a six-figure trader. This is a email that was sent in to Rightline about me and my room. This is from a guy named David. He was in a webinar just like you are, and he sent me a message telling me that I am the world's worst trader. I've been trying to make money trading for like the last 8 years. I'm thinking about quitting and doing something else, but I really like your webinar and I like what you are showing. Will you help me? So I said, sure, David, I will help anybody that comes into my room. I am there to help you. So he writes here, I started watching David's room every morning, learning his methodology and the rules. We only take specific setups and we follow the rules. We have a success rate around 70%. He says, I now have 7 accounts at Apex and 7 accounts at Buellnox. Well, now he has 20 accounts at Apex and 10 accounts at Buellnox. And he's got a couple of accounts in other different places. So he says the money flow tracker software, along with David's methodology and rules of trading, to act like a robot and eliminate any guesswork or emotions from my trading. We use the money an entry tool called the NDT, which I just showed you, with a single push button to enter a trade when you see the correct setup. So following a rule, he looks at it as simple. See setup, push button, see setup, push buttons, see setup, push button. And that's it. About 2 weeks ago, he sent me a message in the questions box, and he wrote in here, plus $4,265 trading 4 accounts. I can ring the bell and he quit for the day. And that's what I do. If I'm up over 1,000 for the day, I quit and I go to sim. All right. So again, don't let this opportunity pass you by. Take action today because you won't be sorry. I've had so many people come into the trading room that were struggling traders, and between myself and what the software does, now they're profitable traders. And everybody tells me the same thing. Where were you 5 years ago? Where were you 8 years ago? Where were you? I said, well, you know what? I've been trading with this for 5 years myself. And honestly, the proof is right here. This is the proof right here. 74.9, let's say 75% win rate with a good profit factor, net return, $120,000. And we don't trade every day, and we still made $120,000. Look what we did last year. All right. January and February started off slow. March was good. April was so-so. May was good. June was our best month. Believe it or not, June was our best month. Look at June. Look at June. How many days did we trade in June, which was our best month? Look, 1, 2, 3, 4 days we didn't trade, and we still did 19,000. We only had one small losing day. But look at some of the winning days we've had in June. 2,500, 3,200, 3,200. We've had some really good days, really good weeks in June. So, again, you don't have to trade every day. The software will keep you out of those choppy markets. Okay. So let's see. He says, welcome, Greg, Moisha, Stephanie, Pam, and Craig. Wow, a lot of people want to today. Well, welcome to the room, you guys. I look forward to working with you and getting you on the track of becoming a consistent trader. You're welcome, Josh. Josh says, thank you for the webinar. I learned something new on every webinar. Josh, I think, is in my, Josh, aren't you in my room? or you've been in my room. I don't know, your name sounds familiar. So if you put your name and your phone number, if you're interested, if you're thinking about it, put your name and your phone number in the question box, and we will guarantee you to get all the extra quick action bonuses. Okay, you have no obligation. We're not going to call you 5 times. If you are interested, if you're not interested, then we won't call you again. You know, I don't like when people do that to me, and we won't do that to you either. And that's it. That's all I got. So Josh says Rightline has a lot of different programs. I've never used a prop account or even traded micros or futures. It is super easy. I use a trade copier, right? So I trade on, so let's say, why do I use a trade copier, I'm asked? Because let's say I take a trade. Let's say this YM trade got copied across like 5 of my accounts today. So I can show you what that trade was. Let's see. So if I go to my chart lab and I go to performance by instrument and I go here to YM, let's see, we'd have to do YM this date here. Okay, so that trade was $630. Let's go to the date today. Oh, I don't know why it's not showing. This thing does, I don't like this thing. It's not showing. Current year. Whenever I use that part, it just doesn't work. It doesn't show right. So that trade made $630. And I was only trading 3 accounts today. So anyway, so kept my webinar to about an hour. Again, if you are interested or you would like to speak with us, go ahead and put your name and your phone number in the questions box, and we'll give you a call after the webinar. Yes, sir. Yes, Josh. And that was on my prop accounts. Yeah, so the trade copier copies my accounts. So if I turn on all these accounts and I place one trade on YM, it will copy them. That one trade will copy across all those accounts. Okay. Omar is asking, oh, Donna, yes, you'll get the recording in a couple hours as soon as it's rendering. Omar's asking, tell me something. Okay, I've never traded and I don't have a trading account. Will you support me to open an account, fund it with my own money, please? So this is what I recommend, Omar. One second. So Joe is saying, is that your phone number? Where are you located, Joe? Is that Augustin Azua? What's that? I don't understand what that means. So Omar, this is what I tell new traders, right? Open up, get a Ninja. Well, first of all, if you subscribe to a prop firm, you'll get Ninja Trader for free, and you'll get the data for free. So what I recommend, and right now is a good time to get, because one of the prop firms is doing a 91% off discount. So you can actually subscribe to one of the prop firms for like, I don't know, 20 bucks, I think. And you can get your data, you can get your Ninja Trader. We can install the software on your computer. You can come in the trade room and we'll work with you. Okay? You don't have to use your own money. I always recommend new people to start off on demo, and that's how you learn. We have some video recordings on the system, and any help that you need, you can ask anybody in the trade room. I will do whatever I can to help you. Okay, Joe. So that's your name, right? Augustine. Okay, no problem. So that's what I would suggest, Omar. And look, if you want to be a more consistent trader, there's no other program that I know of. And believe me, I know a lot of them, and I've probably bought a lot of them, and tons of different indicators. And like I said earlier, I haven't spent a dime on anything else when it comes to trading in 5 years. Why? Because I'm perfectly happy with this. This has been, you know, like I said earlier, this software will keep you out of markets that are choppy and non-trending. And that's where most traders lose money. So why try to trade a market that's not trending or is choppy? We don't. If it's trending, you first of all, you won't get a setup if it's like that. So, that's one of the main things that I love about the software. And yes, sometimes we'll sit in a trade room and we'll watch the markets for a few hours and we don't get a setup and we don't take a trade. But we didn't lose any money either. We didn't make any money, but we didn't lose any money, and we protected our capital. All right. So you get that, Omar, I mean? All right. Joe, Connor, Augustine, whatever. I'll have Rory call you in the morning. Where are you located? When you trade 80 trades a week, I don't understand what you mean 80 trades a week. Oh, in Texas, I don't know what you mean 80 trades a week. We only take trades. No, you can trade one prop account or you can trade 20 prop accounts at the same time. All right. Oh, you want to talk Omar? Oh, you know Sergio? Okay. All right, everybody. I think we're done. Look forward to, and then I can't really tell you how much we make per week because weeks change, things changed. Some weeks we do a lot. Yes, if it's money that I made across my accounts, it all goes into the same. What I do is how that program works is I go to my trade performance, right? And let's see, I go to my trade performance. Why isn't this working here? This is weird. I never had it not work. Let's try this again. So the way that program works is I go to my trade performance and I don't know why the trade performance is not working right now. And I run my trade report, right? And then I go to the trades and I right click and I export the trades into an Excel sheet. And then I go to my Edgewon program and I click here and I drop the file in here. Like here's the one from today, right? 220. And then it uploads all the data from that sheet into this program. And it actually, if you look here in the journal part, it imports I don't know why this keeps changing, the trade ID. So this is the Ninja Trader trade ID that's attached to every single trade. All right. This is my report from today. Where is it? Desktop. Where is it? Wrong desktop. So here's the trades from today. Right? And I categorize them under the strategy so it shows up in the program, right? Right? This is what we did today, $2,050.80. All right. The program I use is so poor. Well, then come aboard with us, Josh, and we will help you. All righty? All right, everybody. Have a great evening, morning, afternoon, depending where you're located. Omar, did you put your phone number in? Omar, go ahead and put your phone number in, and I'll get Rory to have Sergio on the phone when he calls you. All right? Okay, Omar. Where are you located, Omar? You're not in the country. I know that. Oh, in Mexico. Okay, cool. We have lots of guys from Mexico and gals from Mexico that trade with us. All right, so Rory will get that, and he'll have Sergio on the line to translate. All right, everybody. Thanks for attending. Have a great evening, morning, afternoon, and look forward to working with everybody that already signed up. I always get excited when I get new people because to me it's like a new challenge, you know. So I love trading. And I could talk about trading for another 3 hours, but we don't have 3 hours. So have a great evening, morning, afternoon. Take care.